You know, every once in a while, a story goes viral, and it's way more than just a headline. It's actually a sneak peek of a huge shift that's happening right under our noses. And that is exactly what we're going to dig into today. The story of one guy, one chatbot, and a house sale that has the entire real estate world buzzing. Let's get into it.
So meet Robert Levine. He's a father of 3 down in South Florida. When it came time to sell his house, he didn't call a real estate agent. Nope. He turned to ChatGPT. And the result? His house sold in just 5 days. But this isn't just about selling a house fast. It's a really fascinating glimpse into a fundamental change in how we can get things done.
So how in the world did he actually pull this off? Well, this wasn't some kind of gimmick. Levine used AI to guide the entire process, right from the initial thought of selling all the way to signing the final contract.
I mean, the AI's role here was, well, it was huge. Levine basically treated it like a digital project coordinator. He was asking ChatGPT for a pricing strategy, for tips on home staging and curb appeal, even for help writing all the marketing copy. The AI drafted his official listing, helped him figure out how to get it onto the multiple listing service, the MLS, and even told him the best day to put it on the market.
And the results? They were absolutely stunning. Within the first 72 hours of that listing going live, Levine had 5 different offers on the table. He held just one open house over the weekend, and by Sunday morning, only 5 days in, the house was officially under contract. That is an incredibly fast turnaround, by any measure.
But this wasn't just about speed. It was about the money. A huge motivator for Levine was the cost. By dodging the usual agent commission, he figured he saved around 3% of the total sale price, which, in his words, was a meaningful amount of money. Now, he did hire a lawyer to look over the final contract, but the vast majority of the heavy lifting was done by him and his AI assistant.
So, of course, a story like this blows up online, right? It just set off a firestorm of debate. And the immediate knee-jerk reaction was pretty predictable. This is it. It's the end of real estate agents. But is that what's really going on here? Let's break down the myth versus the reality.
This was the question on everyone's mind. If one person can pull this off so successfully, what does that mean for the millions of people who sell homes for a living? It's a really compelling question, but it might just be the wrong one.
Well, according to real estate strategist Rob Hahn, everyone is focusing on the wrong thing. He makes the case that this isn't a story about AI replacing agents at all. It's actually a story about AI empowering sellers.
Hahn's point is that what Levine did is really just a souped-up version of something that's been around forever. A for sale by owner deal, or FSBO. People sell their own homes all the time. The only real difference here is that instead of just using Google and calling a friend who knows a thing or two, Levine had this incredibly powerful new tool helping him out.
And this gets us to Hahn's core idea, something he calls the AI digital employee. Just think about it for a second. For a motivated seller, AI can now tackle a lot of the key tasks, market research, writing those catchy descriptions, coordinating timelines, that used to be something only a listing agent could do. It's like having an expert assistant on call 24/7.
So when you look at it this way, side by side, the structure isn't totally new. Over on the left, you've got the classic traditional model led by an agent. And on the right, you have Levine's model. The seller is in the driver's seat, you've got the AI assistant, and you use specific services like a flat-fee MLS listing and a lawyer for the legal stuff. The roles are just being filled in a completely different way.
Okay, so this brings us to the real plot twist in this whole analysis. Because if AI isn't really coming for the agent's job, then who or what is the real target here? Well, according to Hahn, the real weak spot isn't the agent, but the entire system that agents themselves rely on. And this is where the story gets really interesting. The disruption isn't just about one job. It's about the central nervous system of the entire real estate market, the multiple listing service. And here is Hahn's sharpest point. He argues that the multiple listing service, that's the database that powers all the big sites like Zillow and Redfin, is actually facing a huge existential threat. See, its main value used to be that it was a closed network of information just for agents. But now its role is being hollowed out from the inside.
So the argument is that the MLS is pretty much just a pipeline now. A seller like Levine pays a small flat fee to get his listing into the MLS, but his real goal is to get it syndicated out to all the big websites where the buyers are actually looking. So when its main job is just passing data from one place to another, its powerful central role in the industry starts to look a lot less secure.
So what does this all mean for the future? Well, Robert Levine's story isn't just some weird one-off thing. It's a template.
It actually gives us a really clear, actionable playbook for how a home can be sold today. So here it is, what Han basically calls the new toolkit for the modern, empowered seller. You only need 3 things. 1. An MLS-only company to handle the data entry and get you on the big sites. 2. An AI assistant to be your strategist and coordinator. And 3. A real estate lawyer to make sure all the paperwork is rock solid. Han argues that with just those 3 things, you have everything you need.
And look, this isn't some far-off sci-fi scenario we're talking about years down the road. The tools are here right now, and the success of people like Robert Levine suggests that the pace of this change could be incredibly fast.
And that brings us to Han's final and pretty stark warning to the industry. Because this tech is moving so quickly, he believes the timeline for this disruption isn't years, it's months. The window to adopt is closing, and it's closing fast.
So this story of one man and a chatbot really forces us to ask a much, much bigger question. It's not just about whether agents will be replaced, it's whether the entire foundation of a multi-trillion-dollar industry is ready for a revolution that, as we've just seen, is pretty much already here. Which makes you wonder, what industry is next?